Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Castillo, I'm going to have you start us off, please.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda item 7.1, public testimony. During meetings of the Board of Trustees, members of the public have an opportunity to make comments on items that appear on the agenda or items that do not appear on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Individual speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on agenda items or non-agenda items. The board shall limit the total amount of input for each item to 20 minutes. Speakers may not yield or donate any of their time to another speaker. Depending on the topic, though, the board may wish to continue. The board president will take a toll from the members present to see if that will be allowed at that time. The board shall not prohibit public criticism of the policies, procedures, or programs of services that the district offers, or act in any way to be discretionary. Now, speakers, please be aware that we have a lot of family members here tonight, so the comments, the concerns that you're bringing forward, let's be as respectful as possible and show our children of this community the model that we expect them to grow up to be. Thank you. I went ahead and I broke these out into different areas from what people have put down for concerns. So I'm going to start off with public testimony that has to deal with curriculum. And again, 20 minutes per section. So our first speaker, let's see, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3. We're gonna shoot for 2 minutes so I can get as many speakers as possible. First one. The name is, Lydia, last name DZ. You can say it again? Dzubanek.
Last Thursday, I upset some parents and community members when I taught a lesson on LGBTQ+ icons and their contribution to society. As a public education school teacher, I was following the California state standards and the California Ed Code in this lesson. Parents called admin to complain. They live streamed late that night as they defaced school property in protest, and they came into the office the following morning to scream at the front office and admin. In response to this volatile situation, Yvonne Brown sent a generic directive to tell parents and teachers, we are required to use only district-approved curriculum to teach the standards. This directive and policy is extremely problematic in language because many of our California state social studies standards are not covered at all by the current approved adopted curriculum, and no current Beaumont curriculum is in compliance with California Ed Code SB 48. To enforce such a policy and to send that directive in such a volatile situation was dangerous to the admin, to the teachers, but it also sets a precedent that we are demanding our Beaumont teachers are out of compliance with the state law as public educators. As a result of Evan's directive, parents got even more angry. They knew LGBTQ+ was not in any Beaumont curriculum. Parents and community members harassed me and my children all weekend long, to the point we felt that our lives were threatened. In fact, some of those parents are here tonight. But I refuse to back down. We are a public school district. We do not have the legal right to cherry pick what California state standards and California Ed Code we use in Beaumont based on our personal, political, or religious beliefs. Currently, we have no social studies curriculum that is Ed Code SB 48 compliant. We haven't adopted social studies curriculum since before the mandate in 2012 that all California public schools must adopt curriculum that is California Ed Code SB 48 compliant. What a blatant and systematic discrimination against our marginalized groups who are the focus of that Ed Code.
Next speaker, Elizabeth. Last name starts with an SCH.
Dear parents and students, I regret to inform you that due to a recent and very clear mandate from Beaumont USD to stick to the curriculum and only teach the district-approved or district-adopted materials, the following changes will take immediately in our classrooms. There will be no classroom libraries for students to select books from because they're not district-approved. There will be no class read-alouds this year because they're not district-approved. There will be no guest speakers in our classroom because they're not district-approved. There will be no wax museum performances or anything of that sort because they're not district-approved. There will be no supplemental videos of any kind because they're not district-approved. There will be no teacher-created lessons, activities, or games because they're not district-approved. There will be no PE activities and or lessons because they're not district-approved. There will be no research reports because they're not district-approved. There will be no artwork posted in the classroom or no family photos posted on any walls because family and art are not district-approved. What is district-approved? Homophobia.
Next speaker. I'm sorry I'm messing up these names tonight, but it's a little difficult for me. Pines Soto?
Hello. First things first, my son was circled, well, put in the corner for not wanting to participate in a video that was not written with a permission slip, let alone the principal. No one knew about it. And it was shown again right after lunch when they came back, and he was asked how does he feel about it again. He was told he was not going to participate in the field day, which is completely wrong. I'm here to stand up for parents, students' rights. You know, I'm a public figure. I coach football. You know, I'm out here with the kids. These kids are innocent. You know, whatever is not involved in the school does not need to be talked about. You know, keep these things in your home. I'm not against anybody. This is America. We are completely allowed to have our freedom of right, freedom of speech, but when it comes to teaching things in the school, it's completely inappropriate. You know, it needs to be, we need to stick to the student, the school, just curriculum, you know, and it's just getting out of line. It's making a lot of people feel uncomfortable, you know. I'm here to support, I support everybody, okay? What you want to do is what you want to do. And no one's attacking anybody. No one's attacking anybody, but my son was literally attacked. You know, when we pulled up to the school didn't even know about it. The principal was very upset about it. We talked to her, and you could talk to the school. I am very, very well involved with the school and giving back. We do backpack drives, which the mayor comes out, the police come out. I know a lot of these police officers here. You know, I'm here to stand for and protect the children's, the parents' rights. Like I said, you could do what you want, but please keep that in your home. You know, this is America. You know, like, please just stick to the curriculum, you know, and let's educate these children instead of taking away from them and teaching them something that has nothing to do with school education at all. Okay, and thank you very much for your time.
Becca Bethe, or Behe, B-A-I-H-E-Y?
Bailey.
Bailey, thank you.
Do I talk on dress code stuff now or later? Is that different?
I can put you into a different stack I have up here. I'm trying to, because remember, we're limited to 20 minutes.
But I also had a dress code concern, so do I do both now?
You get one bite of the apple, so go ahead and do it both now.
Both now, okay. So just briefly, since I agree with having just the Beaumont district-approved curriculum if it is keeping moral decisions in the homes of the parents, I think that's very important. If that means we sacrifice research papers, I'm okay with it. If we sacrifice library time, I'm okay with it. I'll take my own kids to the library. I will show them their own videos. I will do those things because I feel like that should be in the parents' hand for moral decisions. I experienced myself where teachers were showing videos that I hadn't been asked about, and I called them and let them know that I didn't approve of that and that I would like a say in that because I would like the chance to have my kids opt out of that thing. The very next day, the same video was shown to a different student in a different grade level. And so I feel like parents need to have these decisions to be able to make these things. We are the ones that love them the most, we are the ones that know them the most, and everyone else has a different agenda. As far as dress code, I have seen, and I have taken my own kids, especially to the high school, that's my experience with this, that there is a dress code that is laminated on the attendance desk that explicitly says not to be showing, I can't verbatim, but like bra straps and booty shorts and all the things. And every time I go to pick up my kids from school, what they see, I see minors' breasts, and I see their bellies, and I see their booties, even where you can see the curve of the flap. And if I had been clever enough, I would have worn my own sports bra and my booty shorts here tonight to show you what an adult woman looks like in an inappropriate setting wearing that stuff, and they're wearing it in our classrooms. And when I asked a security guard about it last year, she told me that it was because if they handed them a shirt to cover themselves up with, that it maybe could get COVID and then maybe it could be liable, which is ridiculous as it sounds, but that's exactly what I was told. Then I saw something that was sent out about the dress code that would be enforced for next year. And it's not enforced this year, so I don't know what will change for next year. But I would like to see minors covered up regardless of whether they're male or female, but especially these young females that it's just everywhere. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Denise Rodriguez Recinio.
Okay. So I am here because my son was exposed to a video on June 1st that pertained to the origin of pride. I don't care what you do in your home. I don't care what you do on your own time, but to teach my child something that is outside of the curriculum that was not, that you had no consent or permission to do, not only from myself and the other parents, but from your own superiors, should be addressed. Now, as far as certain people sitting here saying that they are being attacked or targeted, that they're being attacked or targeted online, if you're being attacked and targeted, it's because you try to flip the narrative and you try to use that to victimize yourself. Your names were never addressed, your names were never discussed because it had nothing to do with you. You were not even the teacher that was at hand. You're not even my son's teacher. So you had no right to sit here and post things that you thought you were going to use to your advantage. Hang on, babe. Outside of that, you know, like I said, if you want to be gay, lesbian, trans, whatever it is that you want to do with your life, that's your right. Nobody on my end is going to judge you for it. But don't try to continuously instill it on our children who are innocent. They have enough going on in their lives that they have to deal with right now that we didn't have to deal with when we were children. Let them be innocent for as long as possible. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. As far as the vandalism goes that was stated was done on my behalf, I wasn't aware that paper and tape and color pencils stuck to a stucco building would be considered vandalism, because when it's done to use another door, it's not considered vandalism. In no way, shape, or form did I vandalize any property. That's all. Thank you.
Next speaker, Gary Bailey.
I want to thank the school district and the board for having me here today. What is the byproduct of what we are trying to accomplish? It is the hearts and mind of the younger generations. And of course, we do have legislation that has been given, but that legislation is meant to be clear, is meant to be transparent for parents and teachers to be able to collectively come together and to determine what is best to be taught in our school districts. And yet when we have teachers that stray outside of the curriculum and begin to introduce their own ideas and concepts onto our children, what we begin to find is that there's disunity, there's disharmony. And what we need to do is we need to have, if these things are so important to be taught, have it brought forward so that the parents themselves can be able to review the material and to make statements based upon whether or not it should be taught, instead of having it come through cloak of darkness. It is important for us to be able to have these children to be taught in arithmetic, to be taught English, to be taught the sciences. It is important for us not to convolute that and to give moral directions. That is for parents. That is for those individuals who rear and raise those children. I have 6 children in this school district. I want you to know that because of that, I put a lot of faith and trust in the public educators, those public servants who are supposed to be teaching the fundamentals to get them through society. I did not hire them. I do not use my tax money for them to be able to counter-teach the things that I instill in my children. I do not want this taught, and if it is taught, I want it stopped immediately. Thank you.
Next speaker, Heather Rayleigh. This is the last one for this section.
Good evening, board members and superintendents. My name is Heather Rayleigh, and I'm a parent of 3 children in this school district. And I'm only here tonight to express my support for our school district and the curriculum that you all have chosen with the teachers' input, with the teachers researching and going over the curriculum before it is ever approved. And also thankful to our board who has approved this curriculum. I believe that the parents need to have the opportunity to review the curriculum, which you offer. And I also believe that our staff, our teachers, should not go out of that scope on their own and choose their own curriculum, because then that's not transparent to the parents. As far as SB 48, it clearly states that there's no state-mandated curriculum. Instead, the state issues guidelines in which local school districts must choose their curriculum with input from parents and teachers and decide what's appropriate for each classroom, which I honestly believe Beaumont USD has done. Every time there is a new adoption for curriculum, Matt Barnett, our K-12 curriculum instructor, always offers for meetings for parents and teachers to give their input. So I would like to have our teachers in the future respect our school board's adoption of our materials and go by that. Thank you very much.
Okay, if we could restart the clock for 20 minutes. We're going to a different section. Here we go. Next speaker, I have Matthew Guilford.
Hello, board members and superintendent. You may recall I was up here about 2 months ago trying to convince this board to come out in support of LGBTQ youth here in Beaumont Unified School District. And the incident that occurred a couple of nights ago in the cloak of night at 3 o'clock in the morning to post what is functionally hate speech against LGBTQ children is abhorrent. The board absolutely must denounce the actions of that individual. I heard a lot of things up here today about free speech, and part of free speech and part of being a teacher is being able to use your judgment in choosing items that are congruent with the curriculum. The teacher did nothing wrong. This board absolutely must act on this. There are school districts in Southern California that have very, very strong policies that are supportive of LGBTQ youth. And let me tell you, as a therapist who treats LGBTQ youth, you have no idea how much the sort of display that occurred at 3 o'clock in the morning at that elementary school hurts these children. By leaps and bounds, more than simply having access to knowledge that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. The fact that this board has still done nothing to denounce this hateful act is disappointing. Thank you.
Next speaker, Cesar Lopez.
As per usual, I'm going to be a little untraditional with what I talk about. In the 1940s, an artist in Mexico City named Pablo Linares had a fever dream. He was sick, and he fell asleep with a fever. And he had dreamed of these fantastical creatures that were terrifying, shouting at him the word alebrije, alebrije. When he woke up, he started a folk art, which is now a movement of creating alebrijes. You may remember them from the movie Coco, like those fun animals that were flying around everywhere. You see them all over Mexican folk art. I teach history of Latin America. This is not in my curriculum. But when it's around Dia de Muertos, we do this. My students actually, we immerse ourselves into a full project where we learn about Mexican folk art, create pieces out of clay, paint them, make videos and stories, narratives. We bring in all kinds of amazing things. It's not in my textbook. Every good teacher is adding and supplementing to the things that we find in our textbooks. It's highly disappointing to hear that a directive would be given for us to not do those things. Those are the things that kids remember. They're not going to remember when we talked about box 42 on page 37. They remember the things that the teachers bring and add to these projects. So that's, sorry, that's my first thing. I got a bunch of things that are over here. I'd like to just read really quick out of the FAIR Act. The law says that a study of the role and contributions of both men and women, Native Americans, African Americans, Mexican Americans, Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, European Americans, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Americans, persons with disabilities, and members of other ethnic and cultural groups to the economic, cultural, political, social development of California, United States of America, with particular emphasis on portraying the role of these groups in contemporary society. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the law. Our books, by the way, we adopted them in 2018. This was 2019, and to be implemented in 2021. Nothing here happened outside of the law. Thank you.
Next speaker, Gustavo Hortato.
Hi folks, my name is Gustavo. I am from Rainbow Pride Youth Alliance. We're an LGBTQ nonprofit that runs support groups for queer and trans youth and their caregivers and parents. I'm here today to support and also remind everyone, happy Pride. I think like, I've heard a lot of conversation today about kind of like freedom of speech, and that's very much like important. Also kind of, I think one of the common themes this night, like gay people, trans people, queer people are Americans. Those students that like were exposed to a history of pride, which I would say, like given it's Pride Month and the LGBTQ movement, is kind of important information for children to understand and aware of. These kids are like living in a climate and stuff where things are really tense. It's really a hard time for a lot of queer and trans folks, and having just basic conversations and just having teachers do basic like classroom management by telling kids not to use gay as a slur or using it as a pejorative is a very basic thing that has been gone on in like classrooms since I was a kid. And just having that enforcement is very important. parents like have the rights, like people have freedom of speech, but it's very important for classrooms to have safe spaces for like kids to like be kids. And I'll be honest, like we all know that like classrooms, like elementary, middle school, and high school all have issues with bullying, targeting, and like homophobia and transphobic language. Just having the basic courtesy of like calling a kid in and basically saying like, hey, there's consequences for using like gay as pejorative is a very basic thing for anyone, any teacher to do. Any teacher who's trying to have some sort of semblance of classroom management. Like, I think like one of the basic things like I think a school district should really strive for is equality. And I don't think that should be controversial. Thank you.
Next speaker, Greg Apt.
Good evening, Superintendent Kakish, members of the board, and members of cabinet. My name is Greg Apt. I'm a high school history special education teacher at Beaumont High School who is currently on full-time release with the California Teachers Association as a board member for District O. I'm here this evening to be proactive regarding an incident that happened last Friday. The whole incident stemmed because of children name-calling and bullying. Rather than discipline the students involved, the teacher, the instructor, made it a positive, teachable moment to reinforce the need to be kind and respectful to everyone and to incorporate in age-appropriate facts about the history of Pride Month and notable figures. This is in line with California state law, including the FAIR Act, which people have been mentioning, which was enacted in 2011 that requires curriculum to include fair, accurate, inclusive, and respectful reference to contributions by members of not just the LGBT community. You just heard from the previous gentleman all the areas that cover within the FAIR Act. According to the Trevor Project, LGBTQ plus youth experience in-person and electronic bullying at significantly higher rates than their peers. They are more than 4 times as likely to commit suicide. The Beaumont Unified School District has and should continue to support all efforts to prevent such bullying and to provide a welcoming and inclusive environment for all students. This goes for its staff as well. Teachers need to be able to support their students and intervene to stop bullying without enduring threats of violence against themselves or their families. That is bullying at an escalated and even criminal level, and the entire community should condemn it. Ensuring that every student in Beaumont feels safe and welcome at school and represented in curriculum isn't divisive. In fact, it's inclusive. I urge the district to do all it can to continue supporting its students and its educators, to follow state law, and to not allow anyone to intimidate staff and management for doing their jobs or to rationalize bullying. Thank you.
Next speaker, Desiree Manahar.
Good evening. I am part of an advocacy group, Free Mom Hugs, and as you can see, we have many supporters here. Many of our moms do have children in this unified school district. What we do is we go out and advocate and educate for the LGBTQ plus students and young adults and everywhere that we can be. You will not ever understand or experience the amount of emotions, the amount of heartbreak that we get from children and young adults and even older adults that fall into our arms simply because we offer a free mom hug. There are so many people that are not affirmed by their own family, that are lost, that feel like they have no one to turn to. And so, fortunately, we are out at many different events and able to enable people to know that they are loved no matter what. We would offer our services and support to Beaumont Unified School District to help educate and advocate for the LGBTQ plus students. We will offer any services that you are needing, any education that you need, anything that you would like to have in offering these services for you. Please know that so many LGBTQ plus children, young adults, they all experience more suicidal rates because of bullying, because of not being accepted in their own homes, because of things that happen in the schools, bullying, teachers, administrators who don't feel like they don't support them. So it is my hope that you will contact us. I am the area lead for the Inland Empire. I will gladly give my contact information to any of you, and please allow us to help solve this situation. Thank you.
Megan Garcia.
Hi. I am a parent of a child in the school district, and I don't see what the issue is. We'll talk about this. The pride flag specifically is not just U.S. history, not just LGBT history. It is California history. It is from our governor, one of the governors of San Francisco. It is from 1978. It's from a children's book. And as a parent who has a child who is part of the LGBT community, who is part of the LGBT community with my wife, we are out there. Your children are going to get exposed whether you like it or not. You're in a public school district. You'll be exposed to the trans kids here, because if they are out and proud, your kids will see them. Your kids will hear about them. Your kids will see me and my wife come in hand supporting our child. That is not going away. And I don't know what you can't stop us from existing. Just like they have pointed out, so many kids, suicide. A lot of us part of the community have had friends that we have lost due to that, have experienced bullying on ourselves. And most of us have that one teacher, that one administrator at least, that they can look back fondly on where they felt safe, when maybe they didn't have anyone in their home. My child doesn't have any grandparents because they all disowned because of who I love or who they are. So give them a safe space. Teaching about colors being love and acceptance isn't gonna hurt anyone. Thank you.
Next speaker, Janie Shields.
Hey, so first off, I would much rather turn around so I could speak to everybody, because I'm not here for you guys. I'm actually here for everybody here.
Excuse me, you are here to address the board.
Yeah, well, I'm here to talk to everybody. So anyways, I'm a single mother. I'm a divorced mother. I'm a recovering drug addict. I work hard every day. I'm a blue-collar worker. I go to work every day. I take my daughter to school on my lunch break, go back to work, do it same thing over again. I have a daughter at Three Rings. I have a son at the middle school. I'm like, what are we here for? Like, what really are we here for? We're here from something that stemmed from my friend's son saying somebody wanted to put a gay pride rainbow. I don't know what it was, but he said, that's gay. He's a child. Yeah, maybe it wasn't, we weren't happy to hear that, but we all say things that maybe aren't politically correct. Another thing is, you know how many papers I have to sign from school? I have to sign did she do her homework every week? I have to sign, hey, is it okay if we show the sex ed thing to your daughter? I have to sign, you know how many papers I have to sign? Why didn't we have to sign that paper? That's all we're asking. It's like, give us an option. That's it. Nobody, as far as those papers that were...
Again, you're here to address the board.
Anyways, the papers that were on the school were papers with tape. They were rainbows with a couple of Bible verses. There was no hatred words on it, nothing being hated about. Nobody, as far as the people that I'm here with, I know that they didn't bully these people. I can't speak for anybody else. I just think it's like, give people options, choices. If we have to sign for every freaking thing, well, then make us sign for that. We're not saying we don't like you. We're not saying that, it's like, just give the kid a choice. But as far as him getting in trouble for saying that's gay, I don't understand, like, you're mad that he said that's gay, he's a kid.
Next speaker, Monica Rice.
Good evening, Board. I'm here tonight because safety is a major concern for teachers, and I know for the district as well. In the classrooms, we have to worry about bullying. We have to worry about kids feeling safe so that they can learn. We have to make sure they have relationships with us so that they can learn. We have to make sure that all of that is built in there. I really like this whole school board thing, because we have people who are here learning, we have people here that are teaching, and in all of it, we're all taking turns in all of those roles. But no matter what, you all are our leaders. You are the ultimate leaders of our school district. And when this whole issue started up, I was waiting to see what you guys were gonna do. I was waiting to see what the leadership was gonna direct us to do. Because when somebody in my classroom busts out with the N-word, I stop class. I address that. I let that child know that you just messed up. We even go into some of the reasons why that word is not appropriate. If it continues to escalate, I pull the kid aside and I have a conversation with him. I don't let him repeat the word. I don't say the word over and over again. I address it, and I let them know, in this situation, in this place where I have agency, that is not acceptable. And I'm really disappointed that so far, I have not seen that type of leadership from my district yet. And I hope that changes. And I don't mean just about this one because it's very late, but I mean in the next situation that comes up. Because issues like this, inappropriate language, community being upset by things that happen in the classroom, this is something that happens in a district. This is something that happens when we have multiple opinions. But how we deal with it is what we do have control of. And as my leaders, I hope you consider that moving forward.
I can squeeze one more in under this topic. Danny Mendort.
Esteemed members of the board and fellow citizens of Beaumont, allow me to be blunt. Your children, my children, our children are no longer safe. And it's gone long past time to begin protecting them. For several years now, insidious forces have begun creeping into our educational system from the national level down to our own local district with an agenda to indoctrinate our children to reverse the very values we take the time and love to instill within them. They want to turn every space into a safe space where their values can influence our children. I'm here tonight attending my very first board meeting to say, let's do something about it. We can no longer allow conservative groups to violate the separation of church and state and attempt to restrict the teaching of fact and history that is mandated and protected by the FAIR Act of California. The agenda conservatives offer is an agenda of erasure and invisibility. In some communities, erasure and invisibility can mean harm, even death. It's time we protect the children that are part of our community, our own children. And the safe spaces I'm talking about, the very own communities we live in now, our states, they're attempting by law to try to change those into safe places for a single teaching, their conservative beliefs over the beliefs of everybody else. And it's time that we put a stop to that. It's time that we stand up and say, you cannot target our children because they're different from yours, because they're not your children. All these children that attend these schools, they're for the community to take care of, to nurture, to grow. And I don't see that happening here. I see exclusion instead of inclusion. And I don't think that's the way to go. I think that that means more division within our community and within the hearts of our children. Thank you.
Okay, the topic has been concluded on that. The new topic now is public testimony for our LCAP, which will, and again, if it's on the LCAP, please make sure it's specific to that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to call you out of order because that topic that we've just went through for the delivery of instruction under SB 48 has been concluded. So under LCAP, we have Sonia, C.
Hello, good evening, members of the board. My name is Sonia Colchado. I am a parent of a couple of children that attend Beaumont Unified School District, and I've been attending a lot of the committee meetings throughout this school year. One of them have been the LCAP committee meetings, and also family and community engagement, and DayPAC, and all of the other ones I can attend. And so some of the feedback that we have given for LCAP has been, and Dr. Blasey has had meetings all year, and she's done like the whole virtual feedback and all the surveys. So one of the things, I did read the attachment and the addendum for next year, the plan for, revised plan for 2023. I failed to see anything regarding an equity and diversity director or team. I think that would be very useful, especially given some of the feedback that you've received tonight. And I also think it would be great to have an LGBTQ Family Advisory Council. I think this board needs to make an intentional effort to show that there's strategies and methods and efforts in place that you're looking at to create safe spaces for this LGBTQ community. So I think the conversations that took place earlier today were one piece of that, but this is something that we kind of foresaw and had a conversation with Dr. Blasey about, which is some of the reasons why we wanted some of those items in the LCAP plan. So I'm asking that you take another minute to revise that plan for next year and maybe add something in there with some grit and some teeth to really show that this community, that you're really making an intentional effort to create safe spaces for LGBTQ families, students, staff, and everybody that you have in your school district. So we really hope that you take that into consideration. You have a great budget that you have to offer and that you're going to be reviewing tonight, so I think some of that money can be used towards some of the efforts that we discussed, or maybe something else that you can create for the upcoming year. But we really hope that you take a revision into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. And I am going to comment too. Sonia, thank you for keeping it on the local control accountability plan. That was appreciated. Next person, and again, please follow in that same path, because I don't want to really call anyone out of order here. Georgina Lucas. Okay, thank you very much for being honest. Melissa Higgins or Huggins?
Hi, how are you doing this evening? Yeah, I would like to discuss the LCAP and what that entails. Both myself and Sonia have come to many of those meetings. We know what the California dashboard looks like. We know where funds are being spent. We take a look at exactly what's happening so that we can accurately address the needs of our school district, and we can speak on behalf of what we feel is important. And having that equity and diversity program here in our school district is imperative. It is so important to have that here. I know you guys remember that I spoke to you before in regards to, students and the need for that education of different cultures, different backgrounds, LGBTQ+. I shared with you that as a parent of, students in this district, I myself being a gay woman, it's important that we have that representation in our curriculum so that our students, our other students can see, oh, hey, there is Harvey Milk. He is like me, and I can be a politician. That would be the same thing for any Latino student. That would be the same thing for any African-American student. That would be the same thing for any student that it falls under that minority umbrella. So in the LCAP, we have to budget that money to be able to produce these different programs and these committees to support our students. Otherwise, all we're gonna do is turn into another Temecula. And at the end of the day, we're here, we're queer, get used to it.
Again, we have one last speaker, and please respect the rules. Heather Lewis.
Hello. Esteemed members of the school board, I stand before you today to advocate for the inclusion of an equity and diversity director position and the formulation of an LGBTQ family advisory council as integral components of our local control accountability plan. Creating an LGBTQ family advisory council within our district will offer a platform for engagement, collaboration, and input from LGBTQ families. This council will provide an opportunity for parents, guardians, and community members to share their perspectives, concerns, and insights regarding the educational experience and needs of the LGBTQ students. The formation of an LGBTQ Family Advisory Council aligns with the principles of the LCAP, which emphasizes parental and community engagement. By actively involving LGBTQ families in decision-making processes, we demonstrate our commitment to creating an educational system that respects and values their voices and experiences. Including an equity and diversity director position and forming an LGBTQ Family Advisory Council directory aligns with several LCAP goals, such as promoting student engagement, improving school climate, addressing the needs of the underserved student populations. By integrating these elements into our LCAP, we are actively working towards achieving our objectives and ensuring that all students have equal opportunities to succeed. Thank you for your time.
Fellow board members, we did have one comment card that I did not speak on or didn't bring up to the podium because of her honesty. This would have gone over the 20 minutes, but the board by poll has the right to hear that speaker if the majority so chooses. Do we have, I see 2 thumbs up, 3, okay. Thank you. And again, thank you for following the rules. This allows this meeting to go much smoother and show our kids how civilized we are. So when they grow up, they can take our place and keep making this world a better place. Georgina Lucas.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Good evening. Let's have a Harvey Milk lesson. Harvey Milk was a Korean War vet. He was an activist for equal rights for Black people, Hispanics, senior citizens, and most of all, LGBTQ people. Harvey Milk is important because he was the first openly gay man elected to public office. As a California State Assemblyman, he fought against the inequality that the members of the LGBTQ community commonly faced. After receiving constant death threats for being a gay and an advocate for gay rights, he was murdered by a coworker. Pride Month should be treated no differently than Black History Month, Asian History Month. They are all important. It's about spreading awareness and creating equality for those who are marginalized and discriminated against. Harvey Milk should be discussed in schools just as much as MLK. Harvey Milk grew up with heterosexual parents, with heterosexual teachers, and no rainbows in the classroom, yet he still turned out gay. Learning about Harvey Milk or seeing rainbow flags will not make your children gay. However, it will help bring a better understanding to our fellow humans and help our marginalized friends feel accepted. LGBTQ people are part of our society as they always have been. We need to spread love, not hate. Thank you.
The remaining items on the agenda are normal school business. If the community wishes to leave at this time, the board will take a 5-minute recess. The board is at recess at 6:57. I'm looking at the board members. I'm going to follow their lead.
Yeah.
Board members, superintendent. Superintendent Kakish, I'm going to start this meeting without you. Don't run workers' comp. Well, that would be on video.
Okay.
Agenda item, the board is reconvened at 7:04. Agenda item 8.1, approve the recommended actions for student discipline cases 23-12, 23-13, 23-14, 23-15. Do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
I'll second. It was moved by Ms. Lara, second by Mr. Mitchell. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. It's mine, huh? I hit yes. Sometimes you have to log out. Okay, let me.
I'm having difficulty.
Oh. The log out? Maybe that's it. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'll do it too.
I just refreshed.
Okay, our meeting. There you go. There we go. There we go. The recommended action has been approved. 9.1, oral reports. Report out of closed session. Ms. Williamson?
In closed session, it was moved by Susie Laura and seconded by Jeff Brown to appoint Ian Young to the position of Principal Elementary, effective date to be determined. The vote was unanimous in favor of the appointment.
Come on down, Mr. Young.
Price is right. President Sanchez, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet, and colleagues. We are happy to announce the appointment of Ian Young to the position of elementary school principal at Anna Haas. Mr. Young joined the Beaumont Unified School District team in 2002. He has held the positions of teacher, instructional coach, professional learning coordinator, and assistant principal. Prior to joining Beaumont, Ian was a substitute teacher for Moreno Valley Unified School District. Ian earned his Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from the University of California, Riverside, and his Master of Arts in Teaching from Chapman University. Please join us in welcoming Ian to his new position of elementary school principal.
President Sanchez, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet members, colleagues, community, family, everyone assembled behind me, thank you so much. It is with the deepest of gratitude that I accept this position. I am very excited to lead the students and staff of Anna Haas Elementary School. Very excited to lead all those student staff, the community. I just cannot thank you enough how ecstatic I am at this appointment. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Mr. Young, would you like to introduce your family? Because this might be the last time they see you.
You want to bring them all up? Or just call them out from where they're at. Okay. So joining me here tonight, as many of you of course know, my lovely wife, Tammy. My amazing son, Oliver. Oliver's a proud Brookside Bullfrog. And of course, my dad, Dennis Young. who's proudly wearing the shirt tonight that I brought back from the Gettysburg leadership trip. I just wanted everybody to know that. She was like, and my mom, Lynn Young. Wouldn't be where we are without our family. Thank you guys so much. Any other questions? Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
9.2, receive a report from our superintendent as well as the district calendar.
Good evening, everyone. Incredible to think that we are at the end of the school year. We have so much to be proud of this year, and we're looking forward to celebrating our graduating classes of 2023 this week. We're also excited to kick off our expanded learning summer program on June 12th at Sundance Elementary and Summer Wind Trails. This year, we're using Quest, an interactive curriculum focusing on developing the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. Our teachers went through a full training for this program. Unlike previous years, the program emphasizes building important skills rather than just short-term remediation. We're also excited to announce that our expanded learning program is partnering with the Boys and Girls Club of San Gorgonio Pass to offer Summer Explorer Camp to our underserved families beginning in July. Summer camp is supported and staffed by the Boys and Girls Club, and they have created lesson plans and activities that students will enjoy. The communication has gone out to all of our families. And we want to know if you knew that Beaumont Unified School District offers free meals to kids and teens in the community during the summer. We have information on our website on times, location, where meals are served. Our Board of Trustees and I had the honor to participate in the Cherry Festival parade over the weekend. The Beaumont High School Band kicked off the parade. The cheerleading team kept the crowd engaged, and we enjoyed seeing the community of Beaumont. Congratulations to the Instructional and Support Services Division on winning the parade's sweepstakes award for their cherry-inspired float in the parade. Isn't that awesome? And we want to acknowledge that June is Pride Month. As for the update, June 7th, Glenview High School graduation at 6 p.m. June 8th, Beaumont High School graduation at 6 p.m., and it's the last day of school. June 12th, first day of summer program. June 19th will be a holiday for the district, observed for Juneteenth. And this is the end of the report, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Consent agenda. Items on the agenda are considered routine in nature and will be adopted in one motion unless a fellow board member would like an item pulled. Do we have any board members that would like an item pulled? Hearing none. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Lara. Second. Second by Ms. Williamson. Call for the vote. The consent agenda has been approved. Our chief of police is here. There's a few words you'd like to say, sir? Absolutely. Come up to the podium, please, or the lectern.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak briefly tonight. And I'm certainly proud of our public for being here and composing themselves with respect and care for one another on such a difficult evening. And so first, I just want to thank the school board, our superintendent, Kakish, and her cabinet for partnering with the Beaumont Police Department. I consider this partnership one of the most critical to the success of our community. As you're aware, SROs serve as a deterrent to potential threats and criminal activities within schools. Their presence alone can discourage disruptive behavior, violence, and substance abuse, promoting a sense of security and fostering a conducive learning environment. By establishing a visible law enforcement presence, our SROs instill a sense of trust and reassurance among students, and allowing them to focus on their studies without undue concern for their safety. And it's important to note that the strategic value of SROs lies not only in their law enforcement responsibilities, but also in their ability to build trust, mentorship, and positive connections within the school community. By promoting safety, preventing crime, and actively engaging with students, our SROs contribute to a well-rounded approach to education that prioritizes both physical security and holistic student development. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Agenda item 12.1. Approve a revised job description to change the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services to Chief Business Official and designate this position to a senior management of the classified service. Do we have a?
I'll move approval.
We have a motion
I'll second.
by Mr. Mitchell, second by Ms. Lara. Discussion. Hearing none, call for the vote. Item carries. Give me one moment, please, because I have been given new instructions on how to deliver these agenda items. Agenda item 12.2. Consider the approval of employment contract for the chief business official. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Lara,
Second?
second by Ms. Williamson. Discussion? Oh, excuse me.
Mr.
prior-
Sanchez?
Ms. Come on up to the, you want to speak there or at the lectern?
I could speak up there.
Superintendent said speak at the lectern.
On May 25th, 2023, the board appointed Sergio San Martin to be the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, subject to negotiation and approval of a contract of employment. A tentative agreement to include a change in title to Chief Business Official has been negotiated, and a proposed contract has been prepared for recommendation to the board. The financial terms of the proposed agreement are as follows. Term of 3 years beginning July 10th, 2023. Initial placement on the Chief Business Official salary schedule at Step 8 for $246,923. Health and welfare benefits with a district contribution of $28,479.16. Accidental death and dismemberment at $100,000, accidental death and dismemberment for business and travel at $100,000, and life insurance at $200,000. Doctoral stipend of $84 per month when attained.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo. Call for a vote. I'm sorry, I skipped a step. Discussion. Any discussion? Okay. Call for the vote. Thank you. Okay, we have a new employee. Ms. Castillo, would you like to introduce him now?
President Sanchez, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet, and colleagues, we are pleased to announce the appointment of Sergio San Martin to the position of Chief Business Official. Mr. San Martin will join the Beaumont team from Riverside Unified School District, where he is currently the Assistant Superintendent of Operations. Sergio started his career in education in 1997, and he has held the positions of Senior School Facilities Planner, Director of Facilities and Governmental Relations, Director of Planning Development, Operations, and Central Registration. Sergio earned both his Bachelor of Science in Urban Regional Planning and Design and a master's degree in Community Development from California State Polytechnic University in Pomona. Please join us in welcoming Sergio to this Chief Business Official position.
President Sanchez,
Superintendent Kakish, Board of Trustees, and Cabinet members, and members of the audience. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for this opportunity to serve the Beaumont community. It is an honor, it is a pleasure, and it's a blessing to be part of this family. On behalf of my wife, who couldn't be here this evening, and my kids who couldn't be here this evening, two are in Tennessee, one is in Riverside working right now. But on behalf of my family and myself, we want to just express our gratitude. Thank you for this opportunity to be part of this family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. When does this become effective, Ms. Kakish?
July 10th.
July 10th? Okay. Agenda item 12.3, consider and approve an amendment to the employment contract for the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. Do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Moved by Mr. Mitchell,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Lara. Ms. Castillo.
Thank you. The proposed action is to amend the employment contract for the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, the district is required to make the following disclosure. The proposed amendment is to extend the expiration date of the employment contract to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo. Discussion. Hearing none, call for the vote. The amendment has been approved. Agenda item 12.4, consider and approve an amendment to the employment contract for the Assistant Superintendent of Instruction and Support Services. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Lara,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Williamson. Ms. Castillo.
Thank you. The proposed action is to amend the employment contract for the Assistant Superintendent of Instruction and Support Services. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, the district is required to make the following disclosure. The proposed amendment is to extend the expiration date of the employment contract to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo. Discussion. Hearing none, call for the vote. The amendment, the extension has been approved. Agenda item 12.5. Consider and approve an amendment to the employment contract for the district superintendent. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Lara,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Mitchell. Ms. Castillo.
Thank you. The proposed action is to amend the employment contract for the district superintendent. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, the district is required to make the following disclosure. The proposed amendment is to extend the expiration date of the employment contract to June 30th, 2027.
Thank you, Ms. Castillo.
Thank you.
We have a vote. We have discussion. Hearing no discussion, call for the vote. Superintendent's contract has been extended, and I think the superintendent has a few words.
I do want to take this opportunity and thank the board for their trust and confidence in the cabinet team. This is not gone unnoticed, and we really appreciate it. And I know at the leadership level, our district will benefit from continuity at the cabinet level. And so we appreciate the support and we appreciate the confidence.
Thank you, Superintendent Kakish. I'm laughing right now because I've never been tabbed up so much on an agenda. Agenda item 12.6, receive a report on the 2023 local indicators to be included in the Fall California School Dashboard.
Good evening, Board President Sanchez, board members, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet colleagues, and educational partners. The State Board of Education approved standards for the local indicators that support a local educational agency, LEA, in measuring and reporting progress within the appropriate priority area. The approved performance standards require the LEA to annually measure its progress in meeting the requirements of the special local control funding formula, priority, report the results as a non-consent item at a regular scheduled public board meeting, and report results to the public through the dashboard utilizing the State Board of Education adopted self-reflection tool for each local indicator. These indicators are priorities 1, basic conditions, priority 2, implementation of academic standards, priority 3, parent and family engagement, priority 6, local climate survey, and priority 7, access to a broad course of study. Educational partners had the ability to provide their thoughts and feedback on the district's progress of the California School Dashboard local indicators using the Thought Exchange tool, and the district and site administrators had the opportunity to rate each indicator using the local indicator tool. For priority 1, this area looks at the misassignments of the school district, the total misassignments, and the vacant teacher positions. Priority 2 looks at implementation of the state standards. That's on pages 5 through 7. And there is a rating scale of 1 to 5, 1 exploration and research phase, 2 beginning development, 3 initial implementation, 4 full implementation, and 5 full implementation and sustainability. Priority 3 is parent involvement. Priority 6, school climate, is on pages 13 and 14, and priority 7, access to a broad course of study. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
This is information, or do we have to take action?
I have a tab that says action. Okay, that is an improv, it's a tab that should not be there. Because, you know, when Carol gives me an order, I'm gonna follow it. 12.6, receive a report from the 2023 local indicators to be included in the fall school dashboard.
As we just did.
Oh, sorry. Review the 2023 LCAP federal amendment, addendum, excuse me.
This is also an info.
Sorry, give me a second. Okay, I'm getting confused with the tabs now. This is information only.
Yes, there's no presentation, it's just the requirement to review the federal addendum.
Okay. Let me try to get on track again for myself. 12.8. Well, 12.8 is an action, right? Okay. Back on track. Okay. Approve the 2023 Local Control Accountability Plan, the LCAP. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Laura. Do you have a second? Second by Ms. Williamson. Discussion?
Thank you for all the hard work on the LCAP. Dr. Brown, I appreciate it, and Dr. Blasey, appreciate it very much. Thank you.
And it looks like this will be our last year for the current conditions of the LCAP? Okay. Call for a vote. Nothing's popping up. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Item carries. Can we refresh the screen that we have? There we go. Thank you. 12.9, adopt resolution 22, 23, 29, approving the commitment of funds in the general fund end balance. We have a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Ms. Williamson.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Mitchell. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. be a lag somewhere because it's not popping up. Okay.
I got an error message down here. See it go? Wait a minute. I got an error message.
Okay, it looks like there's an error message saying server error in application, but. I had it for a second. Okay, let me,
Log out, log back in,
yeah, let me refresh.
or refresh.
Now it popped up.
It's not letting me log back in.
Some point, okay, I'm good. I'm on.
Is the vote accurate on the screen?
It reflects my vote.
Mine too.
But
Does it reflect all?
It's up now.
it's not letting me back in yet. Okay, I'm not getting the option to join the meeting any longer.
Because you commented on the tabs.
Yeah. It shows that I'm signed out? Okay, I'm gonna log out right now then. I'm logged out. You know, this is missing still. Usually it still shows. I'm gonna refresh the screen now. There we go. Okay, I'm back in. 12.10. Did- Okay, 12.10. Adopt the 2023-24 budget. Do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Mitchell, second by Ms. Lara. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. The budget has been adopted. Agenda item 13.1, conduct a public hearing to consider the adoption of elementary science curriculum from the Discovery Education for transitional kindergarten through 5th grade, which have been on display outside these walls for how long? 12 days. 12 days? Thank you. The floor is open for public comment at 7:32. No one's coming to the podium, lectern. I'm just waiting for a minute to pass. Okay. Closed at 7:33. Yes, I know that was a little quick. .2, adopt elementary science curriculum from the Discovery Education for transitional kindergarten through 5th grade. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Ms. Williamson,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Brown. Discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. The curriculum has been adopted. Agenda item 13.3, approve a contractual agreement to purchase elementary science curriculum from the Discovery Education for transitional kindergarten through 5th grade. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Lara,
Second.
second by Mr. Brown. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. carries. Human Resources, agenda item 14.1, approve the memorandum of understanding with the Beaumont Teachers Association, replacing kindergarten contract language with transitional kindergarten, TK, for the 23-24 school year. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Ms. Williamson,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Mitchell. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. Item carries. Agenda item 14.2, approve a memorandum of understanding with the Beaumont Teachers Association for Career Technical Education teaching position at 197 days, a lead theater teaching position for 197 days, and a drama stipend for 23-24 school year. Do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Moved by Ms. Lara. Second. Second by Mr. Brown. Discussion. Hearing none, call for the vote. Item carries. Agenda item 14.3, approve the certificated personnel assignments order listed on the report dated for June 6, 2023. Do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Moved by Mr. Mitchell.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Williamson. Discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. Item carries. Agenda item 14.4, approve the classified personnel assignments orders as listed on the report dated June 6, 2023. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Brown,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Lara. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. Classified personnel assignments have been approved. 14.5, approve an administrative personnel assignment order listed on the reported date for June 6, 2023. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Lara,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Mitchell. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. Item carries, and Ms. Castillo would like to do an introduction.
President Sanchez, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet, and colleagues and guests, we are happy to announce the appointment of Tricia Haynes to the position of assistant principal at Tournament Hills Elementary School. Tricia joined the Beaumont Unified School District team in 2018. She has held the positions of teacher and instructional coach. Prior to joining Beaumont, she was a program facilitator with San Bernardino City Unified School District and an elementary teacher with Pomona Unified School District. Tricia earned her Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies from California State University, San Bernardino, her Master of Arts in Teaching from National University, and her Master of Science in Educational Administration from National University. Please join us in welcoming Tricia to her new position of Assistant Principal of Tournament Hills.
Thank you. I wrote a little speech, but I hopefully don't go off. Good evening, President Sanchez, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet, colleagues, and community members. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to continue to serve our district as assistant principal of Tournament Hills. Today is a special day not only for me, but for my family. My 3 daughters who are here in the audience all attended Tournament Hills, and it was through my interactions with the staff as a parent that inspired me to come here to Beaumont. So again, I am beyond excited to join Tournament Hills, the Tournament Hills family, and thank you again for this amazing opportunity.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mitchell, you were the principal when my oldest daughter, who just graduated from Crafton, you were her principal. So my daughter Carly is off to Cal State San Bernardino. Courtney is an 8th grader at Summer Wind Trails and is about to go to Beaumont High, and Katie attends Beaumont High School. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's always good to see family members here. More? Awesome. Go ahead, Ms. Castillo.
Told you I'd dance. President Sanchez, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet, colleagues, guests, we are happy to announce the appointment of Amanda Fernandez to the position of Student Services Coordinator. Amanda will join the Beaumont team from Moreno Valley Unified School District, where she currently is a middle school assistant principal. Ms. Fernandez started her career in education in 2013. She has held the positions of substitute teacher, behavior intervention counselor, PBIS MTSS coordinator, and school counselor. Amanda earned both her Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies and her Master's of Science in Counseling and Guidance from California State University, San Bernardino. Please join us in welcoming Amanda to her new position of Student Services Coordinator.
Hello, good evening, Board President Sanchez, members of the board, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet, colleagues, and community. I'm honored and humbled to have been given the opportunity to serve the students, family, and staff of the Beaumont Unified School District as Student Services Coordinator. I love the work of student services, and I'm lucky enough to say it's not my career. Working with people is my calling, and I treat that with incredible care and commitment. My sweet family's here tonight, minus my daughter Ava, who is finishing her junior year at UC Santa Cruz. She's actually on FaceTime, along with my dad and stepmom, my husband Chris, and my son Evan, as well as my current administration team, Marissa Smith, Marissa Beamer, and Nancy Parra Ramirez. Their presence here demonstrates the power of relationships as we walk alongside each other and do this important work each and every day. I'm proud and grateful that they're here tonight, and to think they picked me over Taco Tuesday. So I was pretty pumped. Again, I sincerely want to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Kakish, cabinet, for allowing me to be a part of the team. I'm so very excited to be a part of the shared commitment of Beaumont Unified School District.
Excellent, thank you. I'm getting excited for next year. Business Services, approved contract and amendment related to the Beaumont High School expansion project, Phase 5. We have a motion.
Move approval?
Moved by Ms. Laura.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Williamson. Discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote. Item carries. Agenda item 15.2, adopt resolution 2022-2330, naming specific district personnel to act as a liaison between Beaumont Unified School District and the Department of General Services, State Allocation Board, and the Office of Public Schools Construction. Do we have a motion?
I'll move approval.
Moved by Mr. Mitchell.
Second.
Second by Mr. Brown. Discussion? Just to make sure it's read into the minutes, the list continues for California Environmental Quality Act officer for the district and identifying the legally responsible person for meeting the requirements of the Stormwater Pollution Protection Plan. Just making sure that was in the minutes. Call for the vote. Item carries. Agenda item 16.1, reports. Receive a report from the California School Employees Association and its Chapter 351. Do we have a representative? Seeing none. Moving on to reports from, receive a report from the Beaumont Teachers Association. Do we have a representative?
All right, I'm reading the message today. It's not my personal message. The Beaumont Teachers Association is dedicated to making sure our teachers and staff work in an environment that is free from harassment, hate, and intimidation. Last week and over the weekend, that was not the case for some of our educators. The Board of Education, as representatives of our community and community leaders, play an important role in signaling to those behaving badly if the behavior will be ignored or accepted, or if it will be challenged and called out. This has an effect beyond our staff for our students as well. We want to make sure that we promptly address any instances of bullying in our schools, and we use restorative practices to build understanding and inclusiveness. It's really that simple. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses at night. I said, thank you, Corey Hart. He sang that song, I wear my sunglasses at night.
Oh, yeah. They're prescription. I'm not trying to be cool.
That's not what the kids say. You're super cool, right? Receive a report from receive a report from Beaumont Administrative Confidential Management Employees Group.
Good evening, Board President Sanchez, Superintendent Kakish, board members, cabinet, colleagues, community. Pretty much everything I want to say is congratulations tonight. Congratulations to Ian Young as the new principal as the newest principal in Beaumont Unified. Also want to welcome Amanda Fernandez, our new student services coordinator, Tricia Haynes, moving from TOSA role into an assistant principal at Tournament Hills, and Sergio San Martin is our new chief business official. I look forward to working with everybody, and definitely welcome to the BACME family. Also wanted to wish the best of luck to one of our BACME members who's leaving the district, B. Chavez, who has been an assistant principal at the elementary and middle school level, served a number of roles within Beaumont Unified, so we want to wish the best of luck to B as she moves on with her professional endeavors. And also just want to thank the board, cabinet, site and district leaders, teachers and staff throughout Beaumont Unified for an incredible school year. The fact that this is the last board meeting of the year is absolutely insane. Seems like we blinked and it was August yesterday. So I just want to thank everybody for the incredible work that they have done at the school sites and the district level. Beaumont Unified is a special place, and the fact that we're growing at the rate that we're growing and everything that we're doing, it's a special place. And I just hope everybody recognized that. And it was an amazing school year. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Receive a report from board member Jeff Brown.
So we're wrapping up this year. So we're wrapping up this year. It's been a phenomenal year. The school year's been amazing. We're finishing up my son's freshman year in high school and my freshman year on the board. So it's a year of wonderful new things. And the Cherry Festival and the floats and the parade, it was all absolutely fantastic. I wanted to thank the Educational Services Department for their that was just an amazing showing that they made, and it just really represented the district in a phenomenal way to the community. And I also wanted to congratulate the next two nights are graduations. So I wanted to take a minute to congratulate the graduates of 21st Century Learning Institute, Glenview High School, and BHS. It's going to be an amazing week for all of us. And congratulations to all those people. And freshman year is over. See you guys in July.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Report from our board member, Melissa Williamson.
All right, good evening. I would like to also welcome Sergio San Martin and Amanda Fernandez to the Beaumont Unified School District. It's exciting to have you here, and I think it's going to be a good time. And congratulations to Tricia Haynes and Ian Young for your new appointments. In honor of Jeff's birthday this year, we'll be having the Beaumont High graduation. And so I didn't want that to be overshadowed. Happy birthday, Jeff. In regards to graduations, I'm just looking forward to them. I think it's exciting. Being a freshman board member is exciting. Everything's new, and You know, we get to experience all of those things for the first time. Like the senior awards night was amazing. Seeing the pride on the achievements of our seniors makes me feel very proud to be part of this school district. And the parade was just a fun, wholesome, fun time together. And I would also like to echo our police chief and thanking our SROs. You do a lot for our districts. You ensure our safety, and not only that, you relate to students in a way that makes them feel safe and like they have somebody on their side as well. You're part of the team. And also echo the police chief and just thanking our audience tonight for sharing their views in an amicable way. I appreciate that. I'm very pleased about the TK MOU. Most of you know that I'm an early ed person, and I always like to see a movement that includes early education and as same as the other grades. And so I wanted to specifically say that, and that is it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Williamson. Next speaker, board member, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you, President Sanchez. Flag Day is celebrated on June 14th, and it commemorates the adoption of the flag of the United States, and that was on June 14th, 1777. So, and I'm a history person, so history teacher, so I like to throw in some of this stuff. And the state flag was adopted in February of 1911, but on the calendar it says Flag Day. So just wanted to mention that. Mrs. Kakish mentioned in her comments about the summer feeding program. I really like how we collaborate with our 8 different agencies, the city, for giving out lunches at Stewart Park, I believe, and at the Beaumont Library. I really think that's a great collaboration between our community partners, and I want to thank our CNS workers for all the work they do. Thank you. I had the opportunity to attend a thank you celebration for our parents and community volunteers at Tournament Hills Elementary School. This was the first year in a long time due to the pandemic. I think Ms. Roman mentioned something like that she felt we were starting the first annual volunteer tea because it had been so long. It was great to see the parents and the community members there being honored. Our families being able to be part of our school community is important for our students and staff, and we want to thank them every chance we get. I want to thank Mrs. Beitler for her numerous, many years of being a school administrator in our district. Being a site administrator is a difficult job. You are often caught in the middle between the demands of parents, staff, and district administration. We have a fantastic site leadership team, and it will be a loss without Mrs. Beitler being part of it. But there are going to be a lot of fortunate students, I believe, at Three Rings Ranch Elementary School that will have her as their teacher. And last, I want to wish everyone a great summer break. We can't forget many of our staff will be offering services to our students over the summer, and we appreciate the work they will be doing. And like everyone is saying, we're looking forward to the next couple of days of graduation. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Next report from our board member, Ms. Lara.
Thank you. Lisa Hendricks, this is your last board meeting, correct? I just want to say thank you for all of your hard work and dedication over 16 years, right? It's been a long time, and your work has been very much appreciated, and we're going to be sad to see you go. But happy retirement for you.
Yes.
Cherry Festival was fun, just like everybody else said, so I won't belabor that. I do want to say thank you to all the staff this year for all the hard work and dedication to the students in our district. We're here to serve students, and I think this year has gone very well. We've done an outstanding job, and I just appreciate everybody that impacts students every day. So I know you all work hard, and you pour yourselves into your jobs, and I just appreciate that so much. So I just hope everybody has a really great summer, so get some rest and relaxation before the next school year starts, because that will be very soon. Also, I would like to say welcome to our new administrators, our new ones and promoted ones. Congratulations. And happy birthday to Jeff. And if you guys are freshman board members, what does that make David and I? We got our doctorate in. Thank you.
You opened the door on that one.
Can I say one more thing? I'm sorry.
Yes, you may.
Yes. Also, I would like to say thank you to everybody who came out tonight to speak. I know it's a difficult subject. I appreciate hearing from everyone, and so I just wanted to say that you've been heard on both sides, and we don't take things what you say lightly, so I just want you to know that you've been heard.
Ms. Laura, I'm going to echo what you just stated and continue with what was stated earlier by other fellow board members. We are here, our job is to educate children in the safest, compassionate way possible, all children. We're a public institution. Public means everybody, we're not private. So that is a very delicate scale to balance. If we maintain order and are respectful, solutions will be made. I heard someone say restorative. I'm not sure if something needs to be restored here, but we need to continue our vigilance on making sure everyone is heard and everyone's treated with respect. With that stated, the Cherry Festival, the parade was amazing. And I'm not sure who might be listening, or if even our city council member that's out there in the audience, who's in charge of setting dates and stuff, but having our school calendar with our students still in session and the Cherry Festival parade being at the same time was very evident. Our band was magnificent. I couldn't believe how well they played, and I'm glad they played a song that was easily marched to. But for those kids, now we were riding right behind them, those kids played the entire length of the parade. That's not common at all. Usually there's either 3 performances or 4 on a parade route for a band. But because the song was a simple march and a simple tune, they were able to play that entire time. My heart really goes out to those kids, because I was in a marching band as well as Miss Poulter when it was Miss Williamson.
Me three.
So, Susie? There we go. So you know how hard that is.
Yeah.
So if it could align again, if the Mayan calendar makes it happen again, let's, okay. If that could happen again, I think that would be a benefit to our community, so we can show off our kids, as we did with the plays that occurred this year. Mamma Mia still, my wife and I still are humming that song once in a while, going, I was never into ABBA, but now I'm humming it when I'm washing dishes or something. With that, graduation is just around the corner. We have one tomorrow for the continuation school at 6 o'clock at the field, and then the following day with the comprehensive high school. There's a lot still going on and a lot of celebration that needs to get done. So let me try to get everybody out of here at a decent hour so you can rest up. And the meeting of the people and its business is concluded. The meeting is now closed at 7:57. Thank you.